All right. Okay. So a couple of breakthroughs that I had this week, which means I get excited and then come up with some fun things for you guys. A couple of breakthroughs that I had this week were I got into a tuck handstand, like completely unexpected, and just kind of like stayed there for like 3 seconds without any wall help. And I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand what's going on. And then I fell on my face afterwards. And then what else did I discover? No, I think that was the big revelation for me this week, or the big like accomplishment this week, was to be able to hop up into that, was just to be able to jump into that and not feel like I was going to fall on my face. Okay, but so today's theme is hamstring activation, and here comes Kiona right on cue. Is hamstring activation. So we're going to take kind of all of our familiar poses. There's the furry dog. Hi, Kiona. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you, Kiona. Kaiden got his 4 shots yesterday, so he's very, very, very unhappy. Not sleep well. Okay. We're gonna take kind of all of our familiar yoga, all the poses that you're familiar with, and put a different lens on it with hamstring activation. So that is going to be today's theme. So we're gonna go ahead and start out on our back, warming up and kind of building and reinforcing those neuronal paths about activation of hamstring. So let's go ahead and start on our back. Let me close the door. Okay. All right. On our back, hug our knees into our chest. Just hands on our knees, feet together, and we're just gonna warm up our body because it is cold outside. It is 57 degrees here, Fahrenheit. And we're gonna stir the pot. And we're gonna switch directions. And stir the pot. We're hugging our right knee into the chest, extend the left leg out long. So we compress, inhale, exhale. While we compress and bring our shin bone and our thigh bone towards our chest, we're warming up the hip flexors as well as the hamstring. So instead of just this being a arm strength, pulling your knee into the chest, it's also about turning your hamstring on by bringing and actively squeezing. Like if you had a peanut and you put it right here, if you weren't allergic to your imaginary peanut, to crack your peanut or your walnut right here and really squeeze into that. Now, this is the added or different neuronal connections that we're making. Keep the peanut squished, and can you bring your knee up towards the sky, away from you, right? So you're releasing through the hip flexor, but you're keeping your hamstring, your peanut, crushed. And then you bring it back, keeping your peanut, crushing your peanut as you flex and extend your hip, right? So keeping that hamstring engaged, moving the knee away from you, with the same intensity, bringing your knee back to you, but keeping that hamstring engaged, like you're really crushing your walnut. And then moving that right knee away. You'll notice, like I just noticed, like, oh, and my hamstring just started to release when I was extending my hip flexor, which is moving my knee away from you. Kind of have to, I need to re-engage my hamstring. I need to keep my hamstring engaged and strong. Keeping my hamstring engaged. And this is the harder one, is because it's really easy to release the hamstring as you send your knee away and release. Whew. Different sensation. So hug the left knee into the chest. Using the strength of your hands and bringing your shin bone and using your hands to bring your knee closer to you as you begin to warm up the hip flexor. Now, engage, find your imaginary walnut, stick your walnut behind your hamstring, crack the walnut, keep it there, hold it, don't drop it, flex through the left foot. Flexing through the left foot it makes the engagement of the hamstring a little bit easier because you can really bring that heel into your sit bone. And then breathe. Keeping that hamstring engagement, can you maintain the intensity of the hamstring engagement as you move the knee away from you? So it's almost like, doing the patting your head and rubbing your tummy kind of action, right? So you have to hold the walnuts, crack the walnut as you bring your knee closer to you. This is a tougher one for me. Crack the walnut, hold the walnut as you bring your knee away. It's a very conscious, I have to use a lot of brain cells to remember to do this. Really squeeze the hamstring and bring the knee towards you. Again, you're gonna have a tendency to just let the hamstring go because we're always so focused on the hip flexor. And move the knee away, keep activating the hamstring. And then bring the knee towards you and then shake it out. Oh, it takes a lot of work to engage the hamstring and shake it out. Inhale, toss the arms overhead. And give yourself a nice big stretch. Side bend to the left and side bend to the right. Now tuck both knees into the chest. And we're going to try this with get my ponytail out of the way. We're going to try this with both knees bent. Oh, all right. Tossing the arms overhead. So we're going to take the arms overhead. Engaging through the hamstrings. Engage through the hamstrings. Flex the feet. This helps remind you to activate the hamstrings. Get the hold your walnut, don't drop your walnut. Okay. So bring the knee into the chest. So the engagement of the hamstring stays intense at a level, 8 out of 10 the entire time. So bring the knees into the chest. Hamstrings always engage. Now bring the knees away from you, feet barely touches the floor, hovers above the floor, but basically just grazes the floor, but your hamstrings are super engaged. Nothing changes in the hamstring as you bring your knees into your chest. Nothing changes with your hamstring as you bring your feet closer to the floor. This is a weird one, right? Because we're letting go or we're extending our hips, but you have to still maintain the intensity of your hamstrings. Right here is where I usually oh, what's going on? I'm just going to put my feet down. No, squeeze the hamstrings, and then bring it in. Add the posterior pelvic tilt, lift the hips. So scoop the low belly, hamstrings engage. Keep the hamstrings engaged, and release. And shake it out. Have we used those muscles ever before? I don't know. All right. Adding on. Take the block in between your hands, overhead. This time point the toes, toes touching the floor, hamstrings engage, squeeze the block, tuck, keep squeezing the hamstrings engage, posterior pelvic tilt lift, keeping the hamstrings engaged, Tap the floor. Knees in, hamstrings engaged. Posterior pelvic tilt, lift the hips. Squeeze the block. Hamstrings engaged, hamstrings engaged, hamstrings engaged. Touch. Hamstrings engaged. Tuck. Posterior pelvic tilt, lift, and squeeze. And release. Whew. And shake it out. Ooh. Come and rock up into seated. And come into all fours. Cat-cow through the spine here. Inhale. Drop the chest. Exhale, round the lower back. Inhale, come forward. Drop the chest. Take the gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, shift the hips back and dome. Inhale. Shift the weight forward. Exhale and dome. And tuck the tailbone, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Pull up just 1 second and breathe, breathe, breathe. Come on, Wally, come on in. No, don't eat my yogurt. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Lift the heels, come down for a low squat. Take the arms up towards the sky, interlace the fingers, press the palms up. And look, we are in the same position. We are in a tuck position. So can you get to the same activation? So are our hamstrings maximally engaged? Do pelvic bowl, posterior pelvic tilt? Thigh bones pressing into the rib cage, into a tight ball. Lower the heels for half chair. Anterior pelvic tilt, so tip the pelvic bowl forward, reach the chest forward. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, open up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the back, high plank. Lower down knees, chest, chin, roll the shoulders back and down. Cobra, pull the body forward. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Lift the heels, come down for that low squat. So basically you're in an upside down tuck. Ooh, you're in an upside down tuck handstand right here. Right, that's what this is, upside down tuck handstand. Posterior pelvic tilt, pull the arms back behind you. Really maximally engage through the hamstrings, bringing your knees into the rib cage. Half chair, drop the heels, lift the hips, drop the shoulders. Anterior pelvic tilt, dump the soup out. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, open up the chest. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin. Roll the shoulders back and down. Cobra. Pull the body forward. Bend the right knee. Hamstring. Hamstring. Flex the right foot and squeeze. And release. Other side. Left hamstring. Bend the left knee. Flex the left foot. Squeeze. Extend. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Right leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward. Runner's lunge. Ooh, drop the back knee down. Inhale, forward, up, and back. Exhale, open. Inhale. Windmill the hands down, pop the back knee off the mat. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Anterior pelvic tilt, dump the soup bowl, dump your soup. Lift the heels. Come down for a low squat. Activate through the hamstrings. So not only are we balancing onto the balls of the feet, we're squeezing our ankles together. We're maximally squeezing our hamstrings. Arms overhead, interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the sky, squeeze the inner thighs together. Half chair. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Drop the back knee down. Inhale, forward, up and back. Open. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands down. Pop the back knee off the mat. Back foot to the top of the mat. Low squat. Lift the heels. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Hamstring squeeze. Hamstring squeeze. So squeeze the hamstrings. Squeeze the ankles together. Pull the arms back behind your ears. Posterior pelvic tilt. Lower the heels, half chair. Flat back, lift the arms, lift the chest, anterior pelvic tilt. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Lower down. Knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Lower the knees down, come into all fours. Come into all fours. Wally, are you in the way? Goodness. Come here, Wally. Okay. Is no one paying attention to you? No one will let you in the house? Is that it? Okay, scorpion. So inhale. Inhale, float the right knee into the chest. So normally we have a tendency to do knee to nose and we round, but this doesn't actually allow us to do the knee into, it doesn't allow us to maximally bring in or get it tight enough as a ball. It's actually the opposite. It doesn't allow us to like have the maximum contraction of the hamstring or the maximum contraction of the hip flexor. So from here, taking your gaze forward instead of the nose to your knee, taking the gaze forward, bringing the knee into the chest, maximally compressing through the hip flexors and the hamstrings. So we're bringing, so this is that same tuck position, hamstrings and hip flexors here. Keeping the hamstrings engaged, we're going to extend the hips. So the same action, just we're reversed, right? So we're going to move the knee away from us into scorpion, but we're going to keep the hamstring maximally engaged. And I'll be right back because the dog is wanting to go, Wally. Come on. Go. Go, 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 go. Come here, Wally. Okay, sorry about that. They closed the door on Wally, and so he couldn't get back into the house. All right, so we do a couple of these on the right side. So scorpion, so keeping the hamstrings flexed as we extend the hip flexor. right? Because normally we're here in Scorpion going la 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 la, my knees up, no big deal. But my hamstring here, maximally squishing my walnut, holding my walnut, squish, keeping that hamstring engagement as I bring my knee into my heart center, taking the gaze forward. So how much can I tuck and bring my thigh bone into my rib cage, right? This is essentially our tuck position, but flipped like a pancake, right, the other way, right? Because normally we would be on our back. So we're here. So again, oh, if it's not one for a child, it's a non for a child. Okay, yes, Kiona. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Those flowers are really pretty. Thank you. Is this for everybody too? Okay. All right, so let's try the other side. It's just going to be one of those days. Actually, it's just one of those years. I give up. Okay. All right, left side. So normally, right, knee to chest round. That is like, oh, this is like super easy. So we're going to change it up. Remember, the gaze is forward.
Mama, I do
yes.
yoga with Mama.
What, honey?
Can I do yoga with
If
Mama?
you're quiet and let mommy teach. Okay. So tuck, right? So the hamstrings are maximally engaged. The knee is being brought into the heart center. Our gaze is forward. Can you move so that they can see me? Because you're right in front of the camera. Can you come on this side of Mama? Okay. All right. And we're going to keep that hamstring engagement as we extend our knee behind us, right, into Scorpion, where, hello, Kiona. Keeping our hamstring as we lift the knee behind us. Yeah, so lift the knee behind you, but keeping the hamstring engaged. And then bring, so this is the same exercise that we started in class today, but actually we're on all fours. So again, bring the knee, tuck into the chest, lift it up into the heart, take the gaze forward. You're going to get a tighter tuck. You're going to get more engagement of your hip flexors, stronger hamstring. And then extend the knee, move the knee away from you, but engaging through that hamstring. This is the new neuronal connection that we're making. And bring the knee into the chest, keeping the hamstring engaged. Moving the knee away from you, lifting the knee up higher, behind you, keeping the hamstring engaged. And last one. Take the gaze forward. Come back into all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward on his lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, all the way back up, floating arms towards the sky. And close the pose. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. Twist underneath your right arm. Drop the left forearm down, peekaboo.
What peekaboo?
Peekaboo, that's right, Kiona, peekaboo. Keep pulsing your right leg up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Right foot in between the hands, runner's lunge. Drop the back knee down. Low lunge. Here comes the pillows. Okay, we're going to do low lunge with not a literal twist, but with a neuronal twist. How about that? Inhale, low lunge. Arms up towards the sky. Engaging through the core. Bend your left knee. Activating through the left hamstring. Oh dear. Left hamstring. Take the arms back behind you in a tricep stretch. And shift the hips forward. For 4, 3, 2, 1. down. Plant the hands down. Pop the back knee off the mat. Step it back, high plank. Lower down. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky. Twist underneath your left arm. Drop the right forearm down. Twist, peekaboo. Pulse your left leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back into one-legged down dog. Left foot in between the hands. Runner's lunge. Drop the back knee down. So runners, low lunge with a hamstring activation. Right? Low lunge with a hamstring activation. So shift the hips forward, bend the knee. You want to be on the fleshy part of the knee. You don't want to be on top of the knee. Take the hands overhead. So just, if you think about just bending the knee, makes this pose incredibly more intense. 3, 2, 1. Windmill the hands down. Pop the back knee off the mat, back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way back up, floating arms up towards the sky. And close the pose. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank, lower down. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. Right foot in between the hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, come on up, crescent lunge. Crescent lunge. So crescent lunge, how can we add that hamstring activation? So this is our hamstring. Oh, obviously, this is our hamstring. It's been there the whole time. We're gonna take our right foot and we're gonna like pull it back. So we're not gonna change our shape of our position or anything, but activation, we're gonna imagine that we're trying to pull the carpet or pull the mat behind us, giving ourselves a different sensation. If you'll notice, once you start pulling the front foot forward, your back leg fires up immediately. Those muscles that probably should have been working the whole time, get a little wake-up call. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hands down. Drop the back knee down. We're going to come into a twist, kind of a king pigeon twist. Left hand down, right arm up towards the sky. Bend the left knee. So normally this is a passive, right? We usually take our right hand, we find our left foot. We usually do a passive stretch. The left leg's not doing anything. So this time, can we, oh, look at that, engage our left hamstring and bring our left heel closer to our sit bones with the hand, and also the activation of the hamstring. And notice the difference in what engages. You feel the quad engage. Yeah, you feel the quad engage. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just a kind of completely different sensation there. So drop the hands down. I want to do lizard. And come down from lizard pose. Maybe onto the block or onto the floor. Open up the inner thigh. Maybe you want to drop the right knee out to the side, coming onto the outside edge of your right foot. Inhale, come on back up. Move the block, plant the hands down, step it back into all fours. Take your high plank and lower down, inhaling. Up dog, exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Lift the heels, come into a low squat. Here's your upside down tuck. Squeeze the ankles. Lift the chest. Squeeze. Half chair. Lower the heels. Anterior pelvic tilt. Inhaling, come on up. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step it back, high plank. Lower down. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky. Swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Come on up, crescent lunge. Crescent lunge with a new sensation. So taking that front foot and dragging the foot back, the left heel, left foot towards the back foot. Notice the first thing that I feel is my back leg firing up and this leg getting more active as my hamstring turns on in my front foot. For 5, 4, 3, 2, more bending of the knee, Anjali. 2, nice. And 1. Lowering the hands down, drop the back knee down. Coming in and taking a twist. Floating the left arm up towards the sky. Twist. Right, shift the hips forward so you're on the fleshy part of the knee. Bend the right knee. Left hand finds the right foot, but can you also activate the hamstring? So notice when you activate the hamstring, you're going to feel a deeper stretch in the front of your right hip. So more active in the hamstring. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lizard. So come down for lizard. And breathe, breathe, breathe. And 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come on back up. Come back into all fours. Tuck the toes. Come into high plank. Lower down, inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back. Downward facing dog. And breathe, inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling all the way back up, floating arms up towards the sky. And close the pose, inhale. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhaling halfway up, exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg comes up towards the sky. High plank, knee to heart center. So bend the right knee, activate through the hamstring. So strong hamstring activation. Shift the weight forward, take the gaze forward, bring the knee, lift the knee into the heart center round, or not round, keep the gaze forward. So knee into heart center, nose is forward. Press it back. Hamstring activated, and extend. Bend the right knee, hamstring activation first, strong hamstring activation. Then bring the knee into your heart center, shift the weight forward, into knee to heart center, high plank. Lift, nose forward, gaze forward. Keep the hamstring activated as you come back into one-legged dog. So lift the press the knee away from you, but keep the hamstring activated. And then extend the right leg into one-legged down dog. Bend the right knee, hamstring activation. Bring the knee with hamstring activation into the heart center. Shift the weight forward. High plank. Take the gaze forward. Knee to heart center. Press it back. Hamstring activation as you press it back. Into one-legged down dog, and then release. Lower the right leg down. Lower the knees down. Sit it back. Child's pose. So kind of a different layer to something that we do a lot of, right? Which is just one-legged down dog to, where you go, one-legged down dog to, you know, knee to plank, to high plank with your knee into your heart center. But a little different because we're tossing in or we're throwing in the conscientious hamstring, like a really strong hamstring activation that just changes it, right? You should feel lighter. There should be less weight on your hands and your wrists. You should be able to get deep, higher into your plank, right? Your knee into your heart center plank. Okay, let's come back in all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky. Hamstring, crack the walnut. Crack the walnut, flexing through the left foot. Lift the left knee, crack the walnut. Lift the left knee higher, crack the walnut. Keeping that hamstring active the whole time. Bring your knee into the chest, into your heart center. As you shift the weight forward, into plank. Keeping that hamstring activation, shift it back into one-legged down dog, keeping the knee bent. Keeping the knee bent, hamstring, 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 lift the knee, lift the knee, lift the knee, hamstring, and then extend. At the very last moment, extend the left leg, releasing through the hamstring. Bend the left knee, squeeze the walnut. Lift the knee higher, squeeze the walnut. Now, keeping the hamstring squeezed, bring the knee into the chest, into the heart center, high plank. And reverse it. Hamstring, 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 hamstring. And extend. It's a lot harder, huh? More muscles, hamstring. Who knew the hamstring? Bend the, contract the hamstring, engage, knee into heart center, lift, lift, lift. Take the gaze forward, lift. Hamstring, 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 hamstring. Lift the knee and extend. And lower the left leg down, lower the knees down, shift it back, child's pose. So, I mean, your core is working, but we're spending a lot of emphasis or mind share onto the hamstrings. And even then, your hamstrings are able to enhance what your core is doing to make you feel lighter and you be able to get more compact, right? Come into all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling all the way back up, floating arms up towards the sky. And close the pose. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Flat back, exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up towards the sky. Take your right knee to your right wrist, coming into pigeon. So you've got this, actually, you've got this tuck, right? We've been working on this, gaze forward, hamstring contraction, knee into heart center. You can get a lot higher. Now come into pigeon. And pull the chest forward. And oh, look, we're primed for hamstrings. Here we go, look. Bend. the left knee, pull the chest forward, hamstring activation. So this one's going to be a little bit more challenging because our hip flexor is at an extension. If you can, reach your hands back, right? Like if you were going to hold on to your foot. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. I bet you that pigeon made you sweat. Tuck the back toe under. Press it back into one-legged down dog, big leg circle. Right foot in between the hands, runner's lunge. Drop the back heel down, side angle. Side angle, side angle. Right hand down. Oh. Left arm goes up overhead. Rotate your left rib cage up towards the sky. And twist. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come on up to warrior 2. So warrior 2, right knee over right ankle, extending the arms out. The same sensation with this right foot here, pulling back, activating through that hamstring. Activating through that hamstring. Sitting up tall, stacking your ribs over your hips, turning that back foot, that left foot in, and an angle ice cream scoop. So that pinky toe's got to scoop the ice cream. It's got to scoop the ice cream. I think the universe just didn't want me to have ice cream. Like, I was trying to order chocolate chip ice cream, and I think Whole Foods ran out of it, so it didn't deliver. And then I ordered it from like the Amazon Prime, like the Amazon warehouse in Sunnyvale. And the guy kept the groceries in his car for like 4 hours. I was watching him on my app, and I'm like, why are you still have my groceries? And there's ice cream in there, and it came and it was completely melted. So I just throw that away. And then I tried ordering it again. And I finally, like 3 tries later, finally got ice cream. And then I sat and I ate it all. Because it was just one of those weeks, you know, when the sky is orange and it's raining down ash. A little ice cream helps. Okay, where were we? Warrior 2. Straighten the right leg. Come down for triangle pose. Right hand down. Left arm goes up towards the sky. Lower the left hand down, like pull like a bow and arrow. So pull the left arm like you're pulling a bow and arrow, and then rotate up towards the sky. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the block, shift for half moon. Half moon, bend the right knee. Straighten the right leg, right hand down. Left hand finds the left ankle. You're gonna bring your left knee into the chest first, into a tuck. Does this position look familiar? Yeah? So your knee is into the chest, your gaze is forward. So less about nose to knee, more about taking the gaze forward, anterior pelvic tilt. So that's dumping the soup bowl. That's dumping the soup bowl. Our hamstrings are active. So normally here we're like, oh, it's just about the quad. No, hamstring active. See, when I activate my hamstring, look how much higher I can bring my knee into my chest. Take the left hand to find the left ankle. A lot of hamstring activation, hamstring activation. So look, this is the same thing that we've been doing. The knee moves away from you. Knee moves away from you. For Chapasana, half moon with an arc, but with the hamstring activation. hamstring activation. Can you actually get your hamstrings in addition to your hand to get more engagement? Oh, more hamstring. Look, your left knee can go higher. The more you activate your hamstring, the higher your knee can go. 3, 2, 1. And release. Bend the right knee. Step the left foot down. Come into a runner's lunge. Plant the hands down. Step back, high plank. Lower down. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Notice if one side is longer than the other. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky. Swing your way forward, runner's lunge, coming up. Oh, side angle. So Uday, you are a tall person. That means your stance needs to be a little bit longer. All right, side angle, left hand down. Roll, roll, roll. Roll your rib cage open. Lift. So we want lift in this left rib cage, right? So we're not down here. Our hips, our knees bends forward. Our rib cage rolls and lifts. Lifts, lifts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on up for warrior 2. Warrior 2 is the same thing. Warrior 2, we have our hamstring activation. So our front leg, this is our left leg. Our front leg is pulling back behind us, activating. You should feel that both legs turn on. Yeah, both legs should feel like you turned on the turbo with that hamstring activation on your front leg. Speaking of turbo, Steve's car, which is, I don't know, he like modifies his car and it's like 10 years, no wait, it's 13 years old now. And he's like, oh yeah, someone's gonna buy my car. I'm like, who would buy your car? It's like I don't know, it runs on like 50% methanol and gas. You know, it goes, I don't know, it's got like some insane amount of horsepower. I'm like, oh yeah, some guy from Chicago is gonna come and buy it. I'm like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand boys and their cars. But apparently Kaiden is also gonna follow his dad's footsteps because he really likes his car. All right, where do we go from here? Oh, triangle pose. Straighten both legs. Straighten both legs, triangle pose, left hand down. Oh. One of the 10 sign language words that Kaiden knows is car. Out of all the words, he likes food and cars. So he's a boy. He's definitely a boy. He likes his cars. That's all he wants to do is go sit in his car and go outside. He's been really upset that he can't go outside these past couple days. So keep sending the hips towards me or towards the wall. Or half moon. So bend the left knee. Bend the left knee. Shift the weight forward. Okay, preparation, right? The preparation is the most important part. Press into the left foot. So in the tuck, essentially this right side is a scorpion, right? It's a tuck and a scorpion. So we're gonna bend the right knee, activate through the hamstring. Activate through the hamstring before your hand even touches the ankle. Activate through the hamstring. You don't even need to touch your ankle yet. Bring the knee into the chest, but activating through the hamstring. So this is the first exercise that we did today, right? Bringing the knee into the chest, lift, round, right hand finds the right ankle. Your hamstring is super engaged as you continue to move the knee away from you. The more your hamstring, the more your hamstring engages, the higher your right knee can go. So see, squeeze that hamstring, crack that walnut. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, runner's lunge. Plant the hands down. Step it back, high plank. Lower down, inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Can you get deeper in your down dog? So really press and bring, use your hands to push, push, push. Get your chest closer to your thighs. Lower your knees down and sit it back, child's pose. Inhale, come back into all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge. Back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Tuck, low lunge, or low squat, low squat. So notice if your upside down tuck is more compact. Since we've been demanding a lot of our hamstrings today. 3, ankles together, 2, 1, half chair. Inhaling all the way back up. Open up to the chest, inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, high plank. Lower down, inhaling. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back, downward facing dog. Okay, we need to make sure that we give our core and our upper body some love, not just our hamstrings. So down doggy push-ups. So if you want to if you want to use your block as kind of a gauge or a measure, this is actually short doggy. So it's your down dog, but a little bit shorter. Yeah, so walk your feet in a little bit. You want to probably put your block out here, wherever you are, as a gauge to where you're coming. Your elbows bend backwards. Your elbows bend backwards as you come forward into bent arm nose. And press it back. So this is your serratus strength. Your serratus and your shoulder strength. Inhale, exhale, bend, come forward, 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 and press it back. Come forward, elbows bend back, not out, back. So Anjali, walk your feet in just a little bit closer. So you're in like a short dog, not quite a down dog, but a little shorter dog. Yeah, leg straight, leg straight. So it's a little shorter. It's a little shorter than a down dog. And bend. Oh, and press. 2 more. Bend and press. Last one. Bend and press. And lower the knees. Oh, actually I want to do okay, move the block out of the way, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Right leg comes up towards the sky, swing it way forward, runner's lunge, come on up, crescent lunge. Activate the front the front hamstring. So we're activating, the right foot is pulling back so that we're activating through this. You should feel it in your back here, your front of the back leg as well. Shift the weight forward and come into warrior 3. Come into warrior 3, fly into warrior 3. We're basically taking our tuck face down. So activate the hamstring, bend the left knee, flexing through the foot. So we've been here before. Flexing through the foot. Here, tuck the knee into the heart center. So we're essentially in one-legged tuck. Flying. Hamstring activation. Knee into heart center. Inhale, come on up. Taking the arms up overhead. Hamstring activation. Knee into your heart center. Extend. Kick the left foot out. Pulse the left foot up. Straight leg for 3, 2, 1, and reverse it. So bring it in, tuck, squeeze, hamstring activation, come fly, tuck, hamstring activation, knee into heart center. Extend it back, warrior 3, windmill the hands down, standing split. I feel like we forgot pigeon on the left side. Lower the left leg down, runner's lunge. Step it back, high plank. Take your vinyas. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back. Downward facing dog. Inhaling. Left leg comes up towards the sky. Left knee to left wrist. Pigeon pose. Pigeon pose. Draw the chest forward. Bend the right knee. Hamstring. Optional, you can add the hands. This side might be tighter than the other side. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant the hands down, one-legged down dog. Left foot in between the hands, runner's lunge. Come on up, crescent lunge. Crescent lunge, active through the left hamstring. Left foot pulls back. Left foot pulls back. Feel both legs strong. Both legs strong. Nice. If you can, Mo, send your left knee more forward. Yeah. Crescent lunge. Shift into warrior 3. So fly into warrior 3, press into the left foot. Float the right leg off the mat, drop the right hip down. Root your left foot into the earth. Hamstring activation on the right side, bend the right knee. Keeping that hamstring activation, bring your knee into the chest. Inhale, come on up. Keeping that hamstring activation, taking the arms overhead. Extend the left leg, pulse the left foot up, or right foot. Pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse it, knee into the chest, hamstring activation. Hamstring activation. Hamstring activation. And then extend back into warrior 3. Lower the hands down, standing split. Lower the right leg down, step it back, high plank. Lower down, inhaling up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press it back. Downward facing dog. And breathe. 5 breaths here. Walk the hands back to the feet. Come take Malasana, heels together, knees apart. Inhale, come on up. Okay, Bakasana. Bakasana should feel different because we have spent a lot of time activating through the hamstring. So that same hamstring activation in Bakasana. Okay. So just normal, nothing fancy, just plain old Bakasana. Hamstrings, Uday, hamstrings. So your heels towards your sit bone. You guys look like you just hang out there forever, right? I mean, it's, you guys look like you're floating. It's awesome. Like Anjali looks so solid. She's just like a bird perched up on a little wire, just hanging out. Looks beautiful. So solid. So solid. Right? What a difference. What a difference a little hamstring makes. Okay. All right, we got to add on though. Otherwise it would be no fun. I was going to add on. Now I can't remember what we're going to do. What was I going to do? Oh, okay. All right. So we are, let's see. Oh, let's do one knee crow, right? Asymmetrical crow. Have your block as your training wheel, or maybe we're gonna do something crazy like try it without the block. All right, so one knee crow. So start with crow, and maybe we pull one knee off. Oh, check that out. I don't think I've ever done that before. Look at that. Yeah? Right? I'm here with you guys. And if you still need the block, remember the block goes in between your feet, but maybe you try without the block. See, that's why I have my psychological safety net, which is my pillow, which I probably don't need, but you know, it's my safety blanket. So hamstrings. Whoa, okay. My right side is definitely stronger than my left. That's definitely true. But those look like all the right muscles are turning on. We just gotta build the strength to them because your Bakasana is so solid, right? I mean, just plain old Bakasana. Hamstrings, Uday, hamstrings. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Charlie's doing extra credit. He's doing one-legged Bakasana, like full-on leg extension. Okay. All right, adding on. You might want a pillow. Yeah, you might want something soft to land on. So we're gonna do a preparation for plank. No, wait, or down dog, or down dog to crow. Down dog to crow. So my revelation this week, because I think my revelation this week was, oh, you have to turn on your serratus. Oh, gee, what a concept. Okay, so this is in preparation for when you're going from down dog and you're going to land in crow. But kind of the training, the middle step for that is to remember, we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago, which is to take your crow. Your hips have to go in an arc. And the key to it is not to like slam into your elbows because then you're just going to go flying that way and splat. The key to it is to be able to have your hips travel in an arc, but to slow down like it's almost like if you're going and you're floating down and you're stopping time. So the preparation for that is to actually land your knees in between your hands onto a pillow, but practicing the essence of slowing time down. No biggie, right? And my revelation this week to slow it down was to engage the serratus. So to have the serrate, like the scooping, right? All this scooping, feel like there's tennis balls underneath your armpits and then squishing them or squishing the oranges and having this sensation and that feeling before I take off. So kind of like today, we've been like, okay, hamstring engagement while we're moving, which is hard. This is the same thing. This is like serratus and this scooping engagement before, during, and while we're like in the air to bend the time space continuum. No? No. Okay. So we can try. Scoop, but in this we're gonna bend and land our knees on the pillow forward, right? So once I figure out, or we all figure out together how we can slow down time, or that float, that magical float that goes down, then you have a shot, right? So we're gonna float with their knees forward. And remember, when we're hopping, it's forward, right? Crow is forward. So the knees have to go forward because otherwise you'll come and you'll kind of like stop your knees here and then you'll end up falling back. So it's forward. It's more forward than you think it is. Where does that sound familiar? So scoop, engagement. That wasn't forward enough. So the whole time as I'm coming like down, I'm actually pushing with the heel of my hand and with my rib cage and my serratus. I'm almost like applying the brakes as my weight comes forward in this trajectory. I'm almost like I'm pushing and pushing and pushing to slow down gravity. We'll see how successful I am at that. You know, so just, and you just gotta try. You just gotta try and fail and try and try and try and try and try until something happens. So try. Nice. The hips have to go a little higher in an arc. And don't bail at the end. I can see, Uday, I can see like it's slowing down. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel like you can, like you're able to counteract gravity a little bit? Just like a little smidge, yeah? Bend the knees. It's got to go up. The hips have got to go up and like float down like a feather. Don't worry. We'll just keep trying. It's like, I think after a month I got like, oh, that's a glimmer of what you want me to do. Or like I got it like, I got like a little bit of air that time, like just a smidge, right? And then like it just all came crashing down. Yeah, Uday, now your arc has to go bigger, right? So your arc went from here to about here, it was behind, right? But that was the idea. Then you gotta go from here, the arc has to come more forward. But that's it, you guys, I mean, every time we do this, you guys get better. Every time we do this, you get stronger. So don't think like, yeah, you got like air, right? You got air, yeah, you were like floating for like a second. That was awesome. So, I mean, don't think every time like, oh, it's just, why am I doing this? Like, I'm just going splat on the mat. your body, you are progressing, you are gaining new knowledge with every splat. I know that's not the most elegant way. But think about it. Every splat, we're learning something. And then every time you get like half a second of float or half a second of air, that's progress. But that progress came from going splat 20 times, right? So you got to go splat. That's the theme of today's class is you got to splat to move forward. I don't know, that doesn't sound so good on a t-shirt, right? Should we make a t-shirt? All right, one more time. Awesome. All right. Basic Bakasana. After all that, what does Bakasana feel like with all of that engagement? Whoa! What does Bakasana feel like with all of that hamstring engagement and that serratus engagement? Hamstring, hamstring, hamstring. Nice. Nice. All right. That was okay. One more thing, because your body is so, either it's so primed or it's so exhausted that your body can't protest. Maybe you find a wall, maybe you don't. Maybe we just try down dog and hop. Yeah? Maybe we try to hop up. Into a tuck, into a tuck. Your body is so like, your hamstrings are there. Don't think, just do. All the things, like all that hopping that we did into crow, kind of move a little bit further away from the wall. Yeah, because otherwise you're, yeah, there you go. Don't think, just do. Yeah, that's it. Hamstrings, it's more forward than you think it is. The hips go forward. And just try. Awesome. Awesome. All right. All right, come on back down onto your mat, onto your back. That was really great, you guys. Oh, extend the legs out long, toss the arms up overhead. I'm ready for a nap. Oh. What am I gonna do with the two kids today? It's only like, it's not even 9:30. I don't know. Hug the knees into the chest. We gotta stretch out the opposite. We've done a lot of compression, so we have to open up the body the other way. Bridge pose. Bridge pose, bridge pose, bridge pose. And lower down. Take the left arm overhead, roll onto the left side. We're gonna do half wheel on our side. Take our right hand. So no more hamstring squeezing Just kick the foot into the hand, kind of open up. Essentially, we're in half wheel, a toppled over half wheel. The wheel kind of flopped over. Inhale, coming onto our back, rolling onto our right side. Left hand finds the left ankle. Kick the foot into the hand. Taking half wheel. Or not half wheel, half bow. This is half bow. And release. Onto our back, tuck, bridge pose. Lifting the hips, pressing the knees forward, away from you. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze the ankles together, come on down. Hug the right knee into the chest, extend the right leg across your body. Right hand finds the left foot, so bend the left foot. So your left hand finds the back, finds the right toes or the right calf, and your left hand finds the top of the left, your right hand finds the top of the left foot. You're pulling this right hip away from you. And release, other side. Take the left leg across your body. Right foot, right knee bends, left hand finds the top of the right foot. And you're going to press the left hip away from you as you take the gaze to the left. And come back to center. Take bridge pose. Take bridge pose or wheel, whichever you would prefer. Ooh, can you lift your hips up higher? Hamstrings. Your hamstrings are like mighty hamstrings right now. So your wheel, your legs should feel like they're like stronger like tree, big tree trunks. And slowly come down. Taking the legs out long, tossing the arms overhead, closing the eyes here. Lower the hands down by your side, palms facing up towards the sky. Big inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold, open up the mouth wide, exhale. Inhale into the low belly, the diaphragm, the rib cage, the lungs. Hold, open up the mouth wide, exhale. Pushing out all of the air. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Open up the mouth wide, stick out your tongue, exhale. Slowly rolling onto one side. Keeping your eyes closed, pressing yourself up to seated. Inhale, 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 floating the arms up towards the sky, clasping palms together, drawing them down to heart center. And bowing forward, namaste.